Hey there, quiz lovers! It's Moyo Quiz! Time to put your USA knowledge to the test. 50 questions, fun facts, and epic challenges across history, culture, and more. Think you're a true expert on America? Prove it! Ready to uncover U.S. history? Who wrote most of the Declaration of Independence? Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, or George Washington? Go for it! It's Thomas Jefferson. His draft included a passage against slavery, later removed. Mind blown! Let's spot an iconic home. When was the White House first occupied? A, B, or C? Your pick. It was 1800. Over 40 presidents have called this historic mansion home. Mind blown. Feel the rhythm. Which New Orleans legend helped shape early jazz? Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, or Miles Davis? Feel the beat. It's Louis Armstrong. His trumpet and gravelly voice helped define jazz worldwide. Smooth sound. Get your maps ready. Which is the smallest U.S. state by land size? Connecticut, Delaware, or Rhode Island? It's Rhode Island. It's not an island, and its shortest land border is just 0.04 miles long. Tiny but mighty. Let's explore wildlife. Which large U.S. mammal was declared a national symbol? Bison, deer, or grizzly bear? Guess the hero. Bison. This prairie giant helped native tribes. Its hide used for clothing, shelter, and survival. Presidential power. Which president was the only one unanimously elected twice? George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, or Abraham Lincoln? Guess who? It's George Washington. He got every single vote twice. No one else has done it. The original. Look up high. Monument features a carving by Gutzon Borglum, Mount Rushmore, Lincoln Memorial, or Washington Monument? Mount Rushmore. Despite the scale, no workers died during its 14-year construction. Monumental! Craving a U.S. snack? Which city made the hot dog a street food classic? Chicago, New York City, or Los Angeles? Take a bite. New York City. It became iconic at New York ballparks, especially during baseball games. Classic bite. Fast one in history. Which war divided the U.S. between North and South? Revolutionary War, World War I, the Civil War? Choose wisely. The Civil War. It ended slavery and redefined the U.S., costing more lives than any other American war. Game time. Which sport is traditionally called America's pastime? American football, basketball, or baseball? Baseball. The first pro baseball team played barehanded. No gloves allowed. Classic. Moyo Quiz. Landmark time. What's the total length of San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge? 1 mile? 1.7 miles? 2.7 miles? Don't overthink it. It's 1.7 miles. Its size, including the approaches, made it the longest bridge of its time. Stunning view. Ready for a U.S. fact? Which weekday was July 4th? Thursday? Monday? Saturday? Think history. It It was Thursday, though signed later, July 4th marked the official adoption date. Surprising. Let's talk music. What year did the king of rock and roll pass away? A, B, or C? Let's see what you know. It was 1977. He died at 42, but fans still celebrate his music and style today. Geography time. Which major desert lies in the U.S. Southwest? Mojave Desert? Sahara Desert? Gobi Desert? Explore the drylands. The Mojave Desert. Its twisted Joshua trees exist nowhere else on Earth. Wild. Who invented it? Which American innovator invented the light bulb? Henry Ford? Thomas Edison? Or Alexander G. Bell? Light it up. It's Thomas Edison. He didn't invent the light bulb, but made it practical after 1,000 tries. Bright idea. Time to follow the current. Which major river flows through central U.S.? Colorado River? Mississippi River? Or Hudson River? Flowing big. It's the Mississippi River. North America's second longest river, spans thousands of miles. Flowing strong. Time for a big symbol. How tall is the Statue of Liberty? 450 feet. 350 feet? 305 feet. Think fast. It's 305 feet. Built in 1886, Lady Liberty stands 305 feet tall with pedestal. Monumental. Time for a tasty fact. Which chain first sold chicken during the Depression? Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, or KFC? Grab a meal. KFC, Colonel Sanders' recipe, remains a tightly guarded trade secret. Finger licking. Time for music history. Which 1969 festival was held on a New York dairy farm? Woodstock, Lollapalooza, or Glastonbury? Feel the vibe. Woodstock. It took place on a quiet farm in Bethel, not in the actual town of Woodstock. Epic. Let's talk U.S. wildlife. When did the bald eagle become the U.S. emblem? A, B, or C? Got it? It was 1782, chosen as the U.S. symbol for its strength, long life, and majestic presence, soaring high, like our quiz. Let's explore U.S. waters. Which is the largest lake entirely within the U.S.? Lake Michigan, Great Salt Lake, or Lake Superior? Dive in. It's Lake Michigan. It's a great lake and the only one fully within the U.S. vast waters. Time for a patriotic tune. Which U.S. fort inspired the Star-Spangled Banner? Fort Sumter, Fort Ticonderoga, or Fort McHenry? Sing it out. It's Fort McHenry. Its defense inspired the anthem's iconic lyrics about the flag still flying. Proud moment. Continue explore natural wonders. How deep is the Grand Canyon from rim to river? A, B, or C? Look wide. It's 1 mile. It drops over 5,000 feet, roughly a mile into Earth's rocky history. Mind-blowing. Dial back in time. Which company made the first handheld mobile phone? A TNT? Nokia? Motorola? Ring, ring. It's Motorola. Its prototype, the Brick, weighed 2 pounds and lasted 30 minutes. Game changer. Ready for a launch? What year was NASA officially founded? A, B, or C? Blast off! It was 1958, created in response to the Soviet launch of Sputnik, igniting the space race. Historic! Bonus time! Halfway through, this next one, no clues, no choices, just brain power. You've got 10 seconds, go! It's Maine! Short, sweet, and totally unique. Time for a mountain challenge. What is the longest mountain range in the United States? Appalachian Mountains, Rocky Mountains, Sierra Nevada, Climb High. Home to elk, bears, and breathtaking peaks, this range shaped the American West. Majestic peaks. Let's visit Washington, D.C. What statue stands atop the U.S. Capitol Dome? Lady Justice, Statue of Liberty, or Statue of Freedom? Think laws. Statue of Freedom. It was installed during the Civil War and designed by Thomas Crawford. Powerful place. Ready for a sweet fact? Who first baked the classic chocolate chip cookie? Betty Crocker, Julia Child, Ruth Wakefield. Sweet treat. Ruth Wakefield. She created it at the Toll House Inn, hoping the chocolate would melt. Delicious. Time for geography. Which U.S. state borders both the Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico? California, Florida. Hawaii. Dive in. Florida. It's the only state with coasts on both the Gulf and Atlantic. Sunny vibes. Explore new horizons. On which island did Columbus first land in the Americas? San Salvador, Puerto Rico, Hawaii. Set sail. It's San Salvador. His landing on this Bahamian island marked the start of European colonization. New world. Uncover a U.S. secret. Which founding father invented the lightning rod? George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, or Benjamin Franklin? Get charged up. Benjamin Franklin. It safely directed lightning into the ground, stopping deadly fires. Electric mind. Meet a fresh face. Which U.S. president was the youngest ever to be elected? Barack Obama, John F. Kennedy, Bill Clinton. Guess the age. John F. Kennedy. At 43, JFK was the youngest elected U.S. president. Reagan was the oldest at 69. Young leader. Let's talk landmarks. Which famous Catholic cathedral stands in New York City? National Cathedral, St. Paul's Cathedral, or St. Patrick's Cathedral? Find its spire. St. Patrick's Cathedral. This Gothic-style landmark opened in 1879 after decades of construction. Divine sight! Embark on a space quest. Which Apollo mission put Neil Armstrong on the moon? Apollo 11, Apollo 13, or Apollo 12? Reach for the stars. Apollo 11. It fulfilled JFK's goal, land on the moon and return safely. Epic voyage. A defining voice. Where did Martin Luther King deliver his I Have a Dream speech? Washington Monument, U.S. Capitol Building, or Lincoln Memorial? Listen closely. Lincoln Memorial. His 1963 speech became a turning point in U.S. civil rights history. Dream on! Mind blown? Share your top fact. a culinary empire start? Who originally founded the Golden Arches Empire? Wendy and Dave, Richard and Maurice, Frank and Dan Carney? Order up! Richard and Maurice McDonald. They opened a burger stand in 1940 that redefined fast food forever. Burger pioneers. Lights, camera, history. What was the original name of the Hollywood sign? Hollywoodland, Holly Hills, or Hollytown? Spot the letters. Hollywoodland. It was built to advertise a housing project and shortened to Hollywood years later. Movie magic. Dive into history. Which crop shaped the southern U.S. economy before 1860? Sugarcane, cotton, or tobacco? Think clever. Cotton. Its boom fueled the South's economy, built on plantations and enslaved labor. Crucial crop. Venture north. What is the official name of Alaska's longest river? Tanana River, Kuskokwim River, or Yukon River? Follow the flow. Yukon River. This mighty Alaskan river stretches 1,900 miles to the Bering Sea. Alaskan giant. Taste of America. Which dessert was invented by Doc Strickler in 1904? Apple pie or ice cream sundae? Banana split? Guess the treat. Banana split. A 23-year-old soda clerk mixed ice cream and bananas into a hit dessert. Yummy. Heads or tails? Which president appears on the U.S. dime? Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin D. Roosevelt, or Abraham Lincoln? Count it. Franklin D. Roosevelt. He was honored in 1946 for founding the March of Dimes to fight polio. Presidential profile. Discover unique history. Which U.S. state is the only one with a royal palace? Alaska, Hawaii, or Louisiana? Rule it. Hawaii! Iolani Palace was home to Hawaii's last monarchs before annexation. Royal state! Explore wild lands. Which U.S. state boasts the most national parks? California, Utah, or Alaska? Venture out. California. It has 9 national parks, from Death Valley to giant sequoias. Park power. Hit the open road. What is the longest continuous interstate highway in the U.S.? A, B, or C? Start your engines! I-90. Spanning over 3,000 miles, this interstate connects Boston to Seattle. Road trip. Step back in time. What's the oldest European-founded city in the U.S.? Jamestown? St. Augustine? Plymouth? Think ancient? St. Augustine, Florida. Founded by the Spanish, it predates all other U.S. settlements still standing. Ancient city. Moyo quiz. Innovative tech ahead. Which U.S. tech helps guide the world today? GPS, satellite, or radar? Navigate now. GPS. Once military only, GPS now powers phones, maps, and global transport systems, powering the world. Harvest time. Which U.S. state is most famous for its potato production? Idaho, Maine, Washington? Dig in. Idaho. This state's potato industry brings in over $1 billion annually and feeds the entire nation. Big Spud Bucks. Craving a sweet treat? Which U.S. cookie brand leads the world in sales? Nature Valley, Keebler, Oreo, Dunk It. Oreo! First sold in 1912, Oreos are now the world's top-selling cookie. Sweet classic. Special mention. In which U.S. city was the first nuclear reactor secretly built? Los Alamos? Chicago? Oak Ridge? Power up. Chicago. It was secretly built in 1942 under the stands of a football stadium. Atomic moment. Coastal wonders await. Which U.S. state boasts the longest coastline of them all? Florida? California? Or Alaska? Beach bound. Alaska. Its jagged shoreline stretches farther than all other states combined. Coastal giant. Final challenge. Which U.S. monument hides a secret time capsule in its base? Statue of Liberty? Washington Monument? Mount Rushmore? Guess the last one. Washington Monument. Its base holds items from over 190 nations. Coins, cards, and newspapers sealed inside. Amazing! You aced it. This Moyo quiz proves that learning can be a blast. Had fun? Hit subscribe for more epic quizzes, and don't forget to explore our other videos. See you next time!